Hello, 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 and welcome back to the channel. My name is, of course, Nick, and man, do we have a lot of movies to talk about today. There's so many things to talk about, in fact, that I just need to jump right into it, guys. This is my 2023 Oscar nomination list video. This is just the nominations. I will not be listing winners. Now, I may talk specifically about which films in each category that I think are going to win, but I'm not going to specifically, for each one of these, say what it is. There may be categories that I say, and there may be ones that I skip, because this is just a nomination video. And with all that said, there is going to be a winner video, of course, after the actual Oscars announce the list, because, I mean, who knows, maybe my nomination lists aren't the exact list that the Oscars are going to post. But with all that said, let's jump right into it. And I'm going to skip the short category like I did last year, because both live action, animated, as well as documentary shorts, I just haven't seen any of these categories, and it would be unfair for me to even list any of them. But I will do documentary feature, and we have All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, All That Breathes, Navalny, I believe is how you say it. I might have just butchered that entirely, and The Territory. Most of these I haven't seen. I have seen Fire of Love because there was a screening near me back when it initially released, but I really do want to see All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. I've heard nothing but terrific things about it. Animated feature, of course, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I think he's going to win this for sure. This was easily my favorite animation film from last year, but right behind that was Turning Red and Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Those two movies are terrific in their own right. And another one that surprised me, which is on this list now, is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. In Wendell and Wild, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen it, but everyone else seems to think it's gonna be in, so it's on my list too. I don't think there's a single person on this earth that doesn't believe that James Cameron will win the Oscar this year for The Way of Water for visual effects, and it just blows my mind. I mean, the entire movie is visual effects. Of course it's gonna fucking win, and it looks amazing. It's the best we've ever seen, honestly. It deserves it. But I am happy to see The Batman, along with All Quiet on the Western Front, on my list, or hopefully on their list. And the common one that everyone's running with right now in the film critics circle is 13 Lives. Haven't seen that yet, mainly because I didn't hear too great of things about it when it premiered on Amazon. I believe it's an Amazon original, but maybe I'll get around to it. Original song, I switched up my tune on this one. Originally, in my first 2023 Oscar prediction video, I said that Rihanna was for sure going to win this for Black Panther, but oh my gosh, was I wrong, because I saw RRR after making that video, and not to, it deserves it. It does. It's just a fact. But I also think that Hold My Hand and Ciao Papa from Pinocchio also have a solid chance of being in there as well. And for all my Swifties out there, we have to get the song from Where the Crawdads Sing. What is that song called? Carolina, that's what it's called. Haven't seen the movie, but I know of that song, yeah. Top Gun Maverick is easily going to sweep the sound category. I mean, watching the film, you genuinely feel like you're in the jets with them, or you're on the tarmac at least. It is insane how immersive that movie is. It's almost there. It's like the way Avatar is visually transportive in its storytelling. This is with the sound. Like your chairs rattle in the theater. It feels like you're in the jet with them. It's crazy. But I really hope that they give The Batman a nod here for their sound, because that entire sequence in the Batmobile alone deserves the nomination, but throughout the entire film, it's heart-pounding. Oh, of course, Elvis, because of all of the many performances that Baz Luhrmann managed to montage around. And All Quiet on the Western Front, we love our war movie sound. We love the sound of those pictures. The last one is between Babylon and The Way of Water. Now, personally, I think Babylon should take it. You guys already know how I feel about that movie, but watch, they're gonna sneak in Avatar instead, because that's how lazy and boring they are. Now, as for original score, I swear if Justin Hurwitz does not win this, I'm going to throw a fit like a little girl. I mean, his scores are always at the top of their game. I mean, he, along with the 4 other nominations, are terrific when it comes to crafting a score that feels like a character of its own, that complements the film. Because I feel like nowadays most scores are kind of forgotten and not really talked about, but these scores in particular are the opposite of that. So we have Babylon, like I said, Pinocchio, Woman Talking, which is my 3rd favorite score of the year, Banshees of Inisherin, and The Fabelmans. But if Michael Giacchino's score for The Batman could get in, that would be perfect, because that is my 2nd favorite score, other than Justin Hurwitz, which was Babylon's, which is my favorite of the year. Okay, so for these next few categories, the next 4 specifically, I'm going to kind of breeze through them a little bit, mainly because the nomination lists are just so predictable. There's nothing really else to add to the conversation about them. So for makeup and hairstyling, I'd love to see a Crimes of the Future nomination, but that will never happen. So we're gonna have our usual suspects: The Whale, Elvis, Batman, All Quiet on the Western Front, and probably Amsterdam. But like I said, if Crimes of the Future could sneak in there, that'd be pretty cool. Costume design, again, like an RRR or something cool like The Northman would be awesome to see, but they're not going to go for that. It's just not going to happen. So instead, we'll get Black Panther, Elvis, Babylon, Woman King, and a movie that my mom wanted me to watch with her, and admittedly, it was not my thing, but I ended up coming out of it having a good time with it, and that's Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And the costume design isn't the only good thing about that movie, by the way, just throwing it out there. It's got a pretty solid screenplay. Production design has to go to Babylon. I mean, it just has to. The way they actually recreated the early 20s into the mid 50s of Hollywood is just, it's perfect. It's amazing, and it needs to get the recognition that it deserves, because it won't get it anywhere else in any other category, because everyone hates Babylon but me, it feels like. And Elvis will for sure get in, as well as All Quiet on the Western Front and The Fabelmans. But what if the Batman was in that 5th slot? I mean, the way that they created Gotham and made it feel like a living, breathing character definitely deserves some sort of recognition, even if it's just a nomination, right? But I mean, it'll probably get ignored, and then Avatar: The Way of Water will get production design. Editing is another one that is very, very, very predictable. Baz Luhrmann for Elvis, of course. Moving on, Top Gun, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees of Inisherin, and All Quiet on the Western Front. It's very straightforward in this category. The fact that Nope will more than likely not appear on the Oscar nomination list come Oscar morning, it's more than criminal. It's just stupid. I mean, guys, this movie is a non-stop reel of just cinematic shots that look fucking amazing, but it's not going to get nominated, so I'm not going to talk about it. Now, one of the only things that Bardo is actually going to be able to possibly have a chance of winning tonight is Cinematography, and then Empire of Light as well. Both of those movies couldn't make good, compelling screenplays, but I'm glad that they were shot with care, at least. And of course, All Quiet on the Western Front, perfect cinematography, can't complain about it at all. Adapted screenplay, we already know this is another one of those very easy lists. We have The Whale, Woman Talking, She Said, All Quiet on the Western Front, but the 5th slot is a little weird. It could go to Glass Onion, or it could go to something like Living. I wasn't the biggest fan of Living, but I also wasn't the biggest fan of Glass Onion either, so really you could kind of give or take one of those. I'm gonna go with Glass Onion for now, but knowing that I chose that, it'll probably be Living on Oscar morning. Now, original screenplay, this is also an easy one to predict, but it is a stacked category. We got Everything Everywhere All at Once, Banshees of Inisherin, The Fabelmans, Tar, which is easily the best written character of the entire year, and Triangle of Sadness, which was an exciting surprise that I continue to show to my friends to this day. I mean, anyone in this category can really take it. My pick is Everything Everywhere All at Once. I do think it's the most solid screenplay of the year besides Tar, but that's just me. Now we're getting into our acting nominations. This is very exciting. Ke Huy Quan is going to win this. If he doesn't, then I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. I am so excited to see his speech, because so far, up until this point, every speech that he's given has been absolutely heartwarming, just as heartwarming as his character is in the film. I'm loving all this success that he's having right now. Of course, Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin are going to be in there, as well as Paul Dano and Eddie Redmayne, but this is really already in the books for Key. Now, on to supporting actress, I'm gonna have to admit my fault here. On my original 2023 Oscar prediction video, or that and my Black Panther Wakanda Forever review, I said that Angela Bassett wouldn't even get a nomination, and look, here we are. She's who is probably the front runner right now for the supporting actress category. And I am starting to come more around to her performance now that I've seen the movie a couple more times. Carrie Condon for Banshees of Inisherin is also a good choice. Jamie Lee Curtis as well, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once are amazing choices, but honestly, now that I'm looking back at it, I do think Angela Bassett gave the best performance, and I'm gonna have to call my own bullshit there. But Hong Chow, honestly, she was my personal favorite of the year, but I do think Angela's going to win, and I do think it's very well deserved. I mean, between Hong Chow and Angela, it's a pretty good battle, but Angela's going to take it. I think she has the slight edge, but Hong Chow, she's early in her career. She's got a lot of other opportunities to win that Oscar, potentially even for a lead one day, so she'll be back, I promise. Now on to Best Actress. Okay, guys, you have to tell me, who do you prefer? Kate Blanchett as Lydia Tarr, or Michelle Yeoh as Evelyn Wang. Which performance did you prefer? Because really, at the end of the day, that's what we're battling out here. I mean, yes, Danielle Deadwyler, for her turn as Mamie Till Mobley was just absolutely heart-wrenching. Definitely deserves the biggest round of applause you could ever hear. And Michelle Williams is always terrific, as well as Viola Davis. But this year, Blanchett, the powerhouse Blanchett, or Yeoh, I mean, like, what do we do here, you know? Personally, if I was the Academy, I would give it to Michelle Yeoh, just because she's had such a long career and she doesn't have any... I don't think she has any awards like that. I mean, she obviously does now that she's making her rounds with Everything Everywhere All at Once, but this would be her first Oscar win, and that would be so cool because, I mean, while this is one of Blanchett's best performances of her career, and she definitely deserves the recognition for it, she has, like, what, 3-4 others already on her mantle? She'll get another one at some point, I'm sure of it. But who knows, maybe you guys disagree with me and you guys are all for Blanchett. Now, on the flip side of the supporting actor, we have the lead actor, and another speech that I'm very excited about other than Keys is Brendan Fraser's. If he wins for The Whale, wow, that speech is going to be very hard to watch, not getting teared up. This moment for Brendan is so important. This Oscar isn't just a trophy. It kind of represents to Brendan that he still got it. He still got the talent. And that despite everything that's happened to him up until this point, he still stuck to his craft and gave one of the best performances of our lifetime. Now, I do think Austin Butler did a terrific performance in Elvis. It's one of the only saving graces of the movie, between telling it from his fucking manager's perspective and cutting all over the place throughout the entire film. Austin Butler was the huge standout of the film, thank God. Colin Farrell is my favorite performance from Banshees of Inisherin, but it's just... trying to compare it to Brendan, it's really hard. Bill Nighy as well in Living was terrific, but Brendan. And of course, Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick, you might as well throw him in there. But if it was up to me, if I was on the Academy, I would definitely throw Paul Mescal in there for Aftersun. He more than deserves it, but at the same time, kind of like Hong Chow, he's very young in his career, and he'll definitely be back later on, I promise. Alright, you guys, these are the final two categories. Starting with director, I do think that Daniels has this one in the bag. If not him, then maybe Steven Spielberg, maybe Martin McDonagh. I do think Todd Field and Edward Bergner are going to get nominations for their respective films. I just don't think they really have a strong shot of winning it, like Spielberg or the Daniels. Because what the Daniels were able to achieve with Everything Everywhere All at Once is literally reshaping the way people think and talk about cinema. And that's all thanks to the direction of the film. This is the category that you guys have all been waiting for, Best Picture. What do I think are going to be the 10 films that are nominated, and which movie do I think is going to win? Let's find out. I am going to list this in order from 10 to 1. 1 meaning what I think is going to win, 10 meaning that it has the lowest chance of winning. Now, I do think all the movies on this list are great, except for Elvis, so let's get right into it. In the number 10 spot, we have Babylon, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Whale, All Quiet on the Western Front, Elvis, Top Gun Maverick, The Fabelmans, Banshees of Inisherin, and of course your winning film, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And that's pretty much it for this Oscar nomination video, you guys. Now, when I was comparing my list to all of the other film YouTubers out there, or the film critic YouTubers out there, we all kind of have the same list, but I think that's just because everything this year feels a lot more straightforward than it has in award seasons from the past. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Let me know if you guys agree with that statement or not. Maybe I'm just completely talking out of my ass here. But with all that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. What is your guys' list for all these categories? Feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and let's talk all about it. Oscars are announced Tuesday morning, I believe, and I will be doing a video reacting to those. I'm very excited to see it. I've got a couple of really fun videos in the works right now. One of them is a reading comments video that I'm very excited to share with you guys. And yeah, tonight is the second episode of The Last of Us, so I will see you guys then for that. But until then, please stay safe out there. Please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.